Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. We're going to do something a little different this time. Instead of digging into some complex new research, we're going to get to know someone
Yeah.
through all these messages and stories and these little snapshots of her life. Hopefully we'll all kind of start to feel like we knew Ava too.
Yeah, it's almost like we're putting together a puzzle, right? Like using all these glimpses into her life to create a picture of who she was.
Exactly. And one thing that really stood out to me going through all of this was just how many times Ava's desire to be a missionary came up. It wasn't just a passing thought for her, you know. It was like a constant thread woven through her life, even when she was really little.
It's one thing to say, oh, I want to be a missionary when you're young, but Ava, she actually lived that way, even before she could officially serve. Inviting strangers in the grocery store to church events. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Totally. And then her senior year of high school, she actually told her parents she wanted to quit school and leave for her mission right now. Like, her heart was already there, serving others, sharing what she believed in.
It really makes you think about what a mission truly is, huh? Is it just like a formal calling, or is it something more? Because even on a one-day missionary experience, Ava's impact was huge. There's actually a message here from someone who felt prompted that Ava's entire life was her mission.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like her everyday actions were just radiating outwards, touching people in ways we may never understand. And speaking of touching people, it's clear that Ava had a gift for connecting with everyone, regardless of their age. Talking to adults, comforting her friends, playing with little kids. She just made everyone feel included.
And it wasn't just that she was friendly or outgoing, right? It's like
Yeah.
she was genuinely interested in others, like asking thoughtful questions, really listening to their responses, just making people feel seen.
There's a story about Ava befriending a new girl at school, just because she felt like it was the right thing to do. It wasn't about popularity or anything like that. It was about doing what she felt was right.
It's like she had this amazing inner compass. And then you hear about Zaid, who'd been bullied. Ava befriended him not because it was easy, but because she saw a need and responded with just pure kindness.
And this is where it gets interesting. You can't talk about Ava without mentioning her love for giving gifts and making people feel special. Again, not about buying fancy things, but about those small, thoughtful things. Leaving notes on cars, delivering flowers, baking cookies for people who were down.
There's this story about her scraping snow off a friend's car early in the morning, and it wasn't even on her way to school. It wasn't about convenience for her. It was about making someone's life a little easier.
It reminds me of her love for calligraphy, using it to personalize gifts, make posters, all those little touches that show she truly cared. So we've talked about her missionary spirit, her kindness, her love for giving. But what about Ava the person? What was she like day to day? Okay, get this. She loved milk, loved it, a gallon or two a week.
Wow, okay, that's a serious milk habit. It's those seemingly small things that start to paint a picture of someone, right?
Right, and here's the funny part. She didn't like milk in her cereal. For years, she'd have her cereal in one cup and her milk in another, just enjoying them separately. It's those little quirks that make people so unique.
It reminds us that we all have our own way of doing things, even with something as basic as cereal. And speaking of quirky, after getting her wisdom teeth out, she was totally convinced she had two uvulas.
Oh no, that must have been confusing.
Right, but it's these little absurd things that make memories so vivid. It humanizes people, right? It makes them relatable.
Totally. And speaking of quirky, did you know that Ava was obsessed with Bigfoot?
Really? That's fantastic. It's those unexpected interests that make people so fascinating. It's a reminder that everyone has passions, those little things that light them up.
Absolutely. And to give you a little peek into Ava's world, here are a few of her favorite things. Candy, navy blue and light pink, orange chicken, the state of Oregon, those Young Sung Kim paintings of Christ, Come Thou Fount, and Woodwick coastal sunset candles. It's an interesting mix.
I love it. You can see her personality coming through in these little details, and it makes you realize that we're all just made up of these pieces, those preferences and quirks that make us who we are.
Her music taste was pretty eclectic too, especially for youth albums, country music, Christian rock, artists like Thomas Rhett and Easton Henry. It's like she embraced it all.
It's great. We often try to fit ourselves and everyone else into these neat boxes, but Ava's taste in music, it reminds us that we're all multifaceted individuals.
And let's not forget some of her funnier habits. Sticking her tongue out in pictures, enjoying silly photos, and her thing with saying silly goose is just charming.
It's those little things that make a person unforgettable, Those quirky details that make them stand out. It's what makes us smile when we think of them.
Her friends actually created this. That reminds me of Ava List. And it's filled with things like drinking milk, of course, orange chicken and Dr. Pepper, gospel topics, Easton Henry songs, the dog park, even turbulence on airplanes.
It's a testament to how she really touched people's lives, how she became part of their memories through all those shared experiences and inside jokes. It's really sweet.
It really is. So we've gotten a glimpse into Ava's personality, her quirks, what she loved, but what about her impact on others? That's what we'll talk about next.
You know what's amazing? Even in her short 18 years, Ava had this incredible impact on so many people. There are stories about her friends being inspired to serve missions, to be kinder, to just live more authentically because of her.
And it's not just her friends. The outpouring of kindness towards her family after she passed away is incredible. Grave blankets, donations, meal deliveries. There was even a whole day of service organized in her honor. It's clear people felt this deep need to do something, to kind of carry her spirit forward.
It really shows how deep her impact was, how she inspired people to actually live the things she believed in. Even with all the grief, there's this sense of love and community, this desire to do good in her memory.
It's really amazing. And there's this story about Kaylee Jepson, a friend of Ava's younger sister. She started a kindness club because of Ava, delivering cookies to people who need a little cheering up.
It's like Ava's influence is being woven into the community, right?
Yeah.
It makes you think, what will people remember us for? What kind of legacy are we leaving behind?
That's a good question. Thinking about how Ava connected with people, I'm reminded of these stories about her welcoming new faces at church. She would spot someone new, even from the front row, and then walk them to their class, introduce them around, make them feel at ease.
And it wasn't like she was doing it out of obligation. It was genuine. She really wanted to make people feel like they belonged. It's easy to just go through the motions, but Ava went out of her way to make sure everyone was included.
And those little things make such a difference, especially for someone new, someone who's maybe feeling a little lost.
Speaking of small things making a difference, there's that story about Ava befriending another girl at school just because she felt like she should check in on her.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. They ended up having all the same classes, right?
Exactly. And the girl wrote in Ava's yearbook, do you know how that happened? It was God. Gives me chills.
It makes you think about those moments in life that seem so random. How maybe they're actually orchestrated in ways we don't fully understand. Just a simple act of kindness from Ava leads to this lasting friendship and a profound connection for the other girl. It's like Ava was this catalyst for good, bringing people together. And that's reflected in all the kindness her family received, what they call these kindness stories. It's truly amazing to read about how people rallied around them, offering comfort and practical help.
Really speaks to the power of community, how people step up when things are tough. There were donations, meals delivered, grave blankets, even a whole day of service in her honor. This tapestry of love and support.
Some of those individual acts of kindness, just incredible. The seminary students having a candlelight vigil outside their home, the Clayton family waiting for them outside the hospital, the Perret family taking care of their dog Charlie while they were at the hospital.
It just shows the depth of their relationships, how people offered comfort and practical help during such a painful time. It reminds us that love and support can take so many forms.
Totally. And beyond those immediate acts of service, there are stories about Ava's friends being inspired by her to live differently, be kinder, serve others, live with more purpose.
Like a ripple effect, right? Her influence keeps going. Kaylee Jepson and her Kindness Club are just one example. It shows how one person can spark real change, positive change in the world.
We even have stories from complete strangers who were touched by Ava. This one woman wrote about how her daughter was struggling with her self-worth, and Ava's friendship helped her get through it.
It's amazing. Ava's kindness, it wasn't limited to her close friends. She saw the best in people. She reached out to those who were hurting, made them feel valued.
And even after she passed away, her influence continues. There are stories about people feeling prompted to go to the temple, read their scriptures, live like Ava.
It shows the power of her example, how she inspires people to live with purpose and compassion even now.
Someone felt prompted to do a temple recommend interview for a friend's daughter, so she could go on an impromptu temple trip.
Yeah.
To live like Ava. Pretty incredible how her spirit motivates people to act.
It's like her legacy is part of the community now, inspiring acts of kindness, spiritual growth. Truly amazing.
The stories about the Maple Mountain High School Student Council are amazing, tying yellow and blue bows around the school, honoring her at graduation, They organize a 5K and a service day in her honor.
It shows how much Ava meant to everyone. Even in her absence, her spirit is there in those acts of remembrance and kindness.
And that service day, wow. They tied blankets for a school in Provo, made hygiene kits, put together those little food kits you keep in your car to give to people in need.
It's like they're translating Ava's legacy into action, helping others. Beautiful.
And on top of the organized stuff, there are all these individual acts of kindness. Friends sharing their testimonies, reaching out to those who are struggling, just trying to be more like her in their daily lives.
The power of an example. One person's life can serve as a guide for others. Ava's story reminds us that our actions matter. How we treat people has a lasting impact.
Absolutely. One of the most powerful stories that comes from Dallin, a friend of Ava's. He shared his testimony at church about why he chose to serve a mission. He said Ava was one of the main reasons.
That's amazing. Did he explain how she influenced his decision?
He said she helped him understand the plan of salvation, the hope of seeing her again. And Dallin's mother shared how grateful she was that Ava helped her son open up. She said, Ava was the only girl that ever won his heart and got him to open up. For that, I am forever thankful.
That's so touching. It speaks to how deep their connection was, how Ava's kindness created a space for him to be himself.
It really does. As inspiring as these stories are, it's important to remember the pain, too. In these messages, you can feel the loss. Ava's absence, it left a hole in so many lives.
Absolutely. It's a natural response to a loss like this. Grief is complex. It's personal. We have to acknowledge the pain, the sadness.
One friend wrote, my heart has been breaking all weekend. Their lives have been changed forever, and yet they still have so much hope and faith. It's beautiful, that resilience, even in the face of tragedy.
It reminds us that even in the darkest times, hope and faith can be a source of strength. The way the community came together shows that enduring power of human connection.
There are messages from friends who are just trying to cope with her being gone. I just don't know how I'm going to make it through the school day without seeing your beautiful smile. You were the only reason I came to track. I miss you so, so much. It's so heartbreaking.
It reminds us that grief can manifest in so many ways. The loss of a friend, especially someone as vibrant as Ava, it leaves a void that's hard to fill.
And yet, in the midst of all that pain, there's this overwhelming gratitude for the time they had with her. Thank you for showing me Christ-like love and showing me how to be an example like him. Thank you for showing me what true friendship looks like.
A beautiful tribute to how she lived, the impact she had. Even in loss, there's beauty. Gratitude for the gift of her life.
Absolutely. I hope that one day I can be just like you, and I can love others the way you do. I hope to be as compassionate as you, and I hope to continue your perfect example.
It shows the power of example, how one person can be a guiding light for others. Ava's story shows us that the way we live matters. Our actions can uplift those around us.
Something else is really striking. Ava had this natural ability to connect with people at church, make them feel welcome.
So true. There are so many messages from people she befriended, welcomed into the community. It wasn't just a one-time thing, it was a pattern.
When we first moved to Utah, we didn't know anyone, and the Mickelsons were the first to reach out. Ava would come out and invite my kids to play, give them rides on her longboard, made us feel so welcomed right away.
So genuine. It was just who she was. It speaks to her parents, too, creating that kind of welcoming environment.
The first Sunday we moved into the ward, Ava just rushed over, asked how old my son was, grabbed him and said, "You will come with me." I couldn't help thinking what an angel this young lady was.
That instinct to reach out, especially to those who might feel out of place. It's a powerful reminder that even small gestures can make a difference.
It makes you think about how we treat newcomers at church, in our neighborhood, even just in everyday life.
Absolutely. And remember we talked earlier about Ava's missionary spirit, how it was like a part of her. There's this message from someone who had a spiritual experience after Ava's passing. She felt prompted that Ava's whole life was her mission.
It's a beautiful thought, challenges the traditional idea of what a mission is. It suggests maybe our mission is about how we live every day, how we love and serve, how we reflect Christ in our actions.
Like, even without serving a formal mission, Ava fulfilled a higher purpose through how she lived. Her everyday acts of love and service. It's a powerful testament.
Really is. Brings us back to that question, what kind of legacy are we leaving? How are we touching the lives of those around us? It's a powerful thing to think about.
Absolutely. But let's shift gears for a minute. Talk about Ava's relationship with her family, her siblings. It's clear from the stories that she was an amazing sister, a real friend.
One of her siblings wrote, "She would help me and let me kiss her too." Simple statement, but you can feel the love.
Those little details tell us so much. And another sibling talked about how Ava would play with them even when she was a teenager. They were playing boats with bowls of water, building pillow forts. Ava wasn't too cool for it.
Shows her playful side, how she connected with her siblings on their level.
Mm.
And they would all sleep on the trampoline with friends. Everyone eventually went inside to sleep on the couch, but they'd stay up late in the basement laughing till they cried. Sounds like pure joy.
Those shared experiences, the laughter, that's what creates lasting bonds. It reminds us to cherish the simple things, the time we have with loved ones.
Beyond all the fun and games, there's a deep respect between Ava and her siblings. One of them wrote, "Ava was a really funny sister. I'm going to follow the gospel. I'm going to make the gospel my life and play first like Ava." So inspiring to see her influence.
The power of an example. Our actions can really inspire the people around us, especially our siblings. Ava's faith, her commitment, it clearly had a huge impact.
And there's this incredibly touching moment. One of her siblings talked about a spiritual experience they had after Ava's passing. She felt Ava's presence, received comfort. Incredibly moving.
The depth of their connection, how Ava's spirit continues to offer comfort even after her passing. Love transcends physical boundaries. It's beautiful.
And it's clear that Ava's passing left this huge void. One of her siblings talked about the pain of missing her, the emptiness, but also the gratitude for their time together, the lessons learned, the hope of seeing her again.
It's a beautiful mix of grief and gratitude, acknowledging the pain but also cherishing the memories, hoping for a future reunion. It reminds us that even in sadness, there can be love, a belief in eternal relationships.
And during Ava's funeral, her father shared this quote from Joseph Smith that captures that eternal perspective. "All your losses will be made up to you in the resurrection, provided you continue faithful. The expectation of seeing my friends in the morning of the resurrection cheers my soul and makes me bear up against the evils of life. It is like they're taking a long journey, and on their return, we meet them with increased joy."
It's a message of hope, comfort, the idea of being reunited with our loved ones, experiencing joy and connection in eternity. It offers solace.
It reminds us that our relationships are eternal. The bonds we create go beyond this life. It's a message of hope for those grieving Ava, a promise they will see her again.
It's a testament to the power of faith, the way it helps us through the hard times, gives us a sense of purpose even when we face loss.
Let's dive into some of the messages Ava received while she was in the hospital. It's so clear how loved and admired she was by her peers, her teachers, even people who didn't know her.
It shows how she lived her life, touching the hearts of everyone around her. Even in her short time, she made a difference, left behind kindness and love.
One message from a seminary teacher's wife, she described Ava as Christ-like, sweet, kind, and wonderful. Someone who made everyone feel loved.
Ava's goodness, the warmth and compassion she radiated. It reminds us how we treat others matters. Our actions can spread kindness, create a ripple effect.
And a friend wrote, "I love you, Ava, more than words can describe. I couldn't have asked for a better friend in my life. I can't wait to see you again."
The bonds of friendship, cherishing those who bring joy into our lives. Love goes beyond the physical. It's a testament to that.
There are messages from teachers. Ava is one of the most incredible girls in the world. She's the brightest, happiest, nicest person I have had the pleasure to meet.
Ava's ability to brighten a room, her enthusiasm, her kindness, it creates a positive atmosphere. It reminds us that even in tough situations, we can choose to focus on the good, spread joy.
Another teacher, "She is such a wonderful girl, so beautiful, sweet, and bright. My heart is broken." It's so sad to see how her passing affected everyone who knew her.
Shows the depth of her impact, the way she touched lives. It's a reminder that life is precious. We should cherish every moment.
There are messages from friends and classmates, sharing memories. One friend shared how Ava's friendship helped her feel like she belonged at church, gave her courage, helped her confidence grow.
Even small acts of kindness can have a huge impact. We never know how our actions might affect others. A simple gesture can change someone's life.
Another friend just expressed her sadness, wished she could hug Ava one more time.
Raw emotion, heartbreak, captures the pain of losing someone you love.
There's a touching message from a friend whose son was bullied. Ava was kind to him, showed him what true friendship meant.
Gave us compassion, seeing the best in everyone, even those who hurt others. True friendship is such a gift, a source of support, strength.
These messages, they all show Ava's kindness, her love. She had a way of making people feel seen.
It shows how she lived her faith, compassion, empathy. It's a reminder that our actions have consequences. How we treat others matters. Even small acts create ripples of love. Light.
Absolutely. And amidst the seriousness, it's good to remember Ava's playful side, her love for laughter, her unique sense of humor.
Life's serious moments need joy. Laughter. Those moments create memories, deepen connections.
A friend remembers Ava's funny dance moves at a party.
Her ability to bring joy, embrace her playful side, encourage others to do the same. Life's meant to be enjoyed. Laughter's a gift to share.
Another friend, she remembers Ava belting out songs in the car, even when she wasn't a good singer.
Those moments, pure joy, self-expression, they make memories vivid. It's a reminder to be ourselves. Embrace our quirks, not take ourselves too seriously.
Absolutely. And speaking of quirks, let's talk about some of the things that made Ava uniquely Ava.
Let's do it.
For one thing, she loved Party in the USA. Whenever it came on, she'd get up and dance, singing along.
Classic. Certain songs just get tied to a person, take you back to those moments.
Right. And speaking of unexpected favorites, Ava was a huge Bigfoot fan.
No way.
Yep. Apparently, she knew a lot about Bigfoot. One friend said Ava even took them on a hike and taught them how to do Bigfoot calls.
Amazing. Shows her adventurous spirit, willingness to explore the unusual. It's a reminder that even the most unexpected hobbies can bring people together.
And we've mentioned this before, but Ava's generosity, her love for giving gifts.
It wasn't about the gifts themselves, but the thought, those small acts of kindness that made someone's day.
Exactly. We have all these stories about Ava leaving notes, bringing flowers, baking cookies. There's one story that stands out. Scraping snow off a friend's car early in the morning, not even on her way to school.
Selfless acts, putting others' needs before your own, that reveals character. Even small things can spread kindness, love.
And her calligraphy? She'd personalize gifts, make posters, all those details, showing she cared.
Her creativity, that desire to add a personal touch. In a world that feels rushed and impersonal, she made moments of beauty, connection.
Let's talk about Ava's relationship with her parents. You can tell from everything we've seen how much she was loved, cherished.
That bond between parent and child, so special. Unconditional love, support.
During the funeral, Ava's mom shared some beautiful memories. From when Ava was little, she described her energy, how much she loved to say prayers, her kindness. Even at 2 years old, Ava would say, "Ava loves Jesus."
Those glimpses into a child's personality. Parents treasure those. It shows the power of parental example. Kids learn the values they see at home.
Ava's dad said he always knew she was special, destined for great things. He felt it strongly when he gave her a priesthood blessing as a toddler.
Fatherly intuition, sensing the unique gifts their children have. It reminds us that our children are spirits entrusted to us, each one with their own purpose.
Even while Ava was suffering, she was focused on others, connecting with her nurses, asking about their lives, showing real interest.
Her selfless nature, her ability to see beyond her own pain, focus on others, even when things are uncertain.
And both parents said that Ava's faith helped her through her illness. She was always confident that God would care for her, help her through the challenges.
The strength that faith can give, the peace, the comfort, believing in a loving God, even in the face of suffering.
Ava's mom talked about reading messages from friends to Ava in the hospital. Even though Ava couldn't respond, she was touched by all the love, support.
Love and connection can be felt, even without words. Shows how important community is, rallying around someone when they need it.
Absolutely. Both parents were so grateful for the love they received. It reinforced that sense of community, people coming together to offer comfort.
It's beautiful to see. Shared humanity during grief. And Ava's father shared that quote from Joseph Smith during her funeral about eternal perspective. All your losses will be made up to you in the resurrection. It is like they're taking a long journey, and on their return, we meet them with increased joy.
Such a powerful message. Death isn't the end, just a temporary separation. The idea of being reunited, experiencing joy and connection, it brings comfort, peace.
Our relationships are eternal. They go beyond this life. It's a testament to faith, how it sustains us.
Let's look at some of the things that happened during Ava's senior year. It gives us a glimpse into her life, her relationships, that amazing energy she had.
Life is made up of moments. Each one contributes to who we are. And sometimes it's the everyday things that mean the most.
Ava's senior year was full of everything. School events, social gatherings, family trips, spiritual moments. She went to dances, went on a cross-country trip with her mom, went to girls' camp, even met Hank Smith.
She was embracing everything, learning, growing, connecting. It's a reminder that we can prioritize the things that bring us joy, even when life is busy.
A few months before she passed, Ava went on a temple trip with her family and friends. It shows how important spiritual growth was to her, seeking a connection with God.
She integrated her faith into everything she did, looking for ways to serve others, strengthen her relationship with God. True discipleship isn't just about church, it's about how you live.
There are entries about cross-country races. Ava got a personal record in Park City. Shows her dedication, her drive to excel, pushing herself.
Her discipline, determination, even outside of her spiritual life, striving for excellence can be a way to honor God, using her talents.
Entries about dances, homecoming, sweethearts, even a last chance dance, creating memories, strengthening friendships.
Social connections are so important. We're made for companionship. We thrive when we have relationships. Ava had a way of connecting with people, bringing joy.
Birthday experience with a fire up a Hobble Creek Canyon. Sounds adventurous.
Her adventurous spirit, willingness to try new things. Life should be enjoyed. We should go on adventures, make memories with the people we love.
One of the sweetest things we found, that reminds me of Ava, list her friends created. All sorts of random things. Songs, movies, food, activities, things that remind them of her. Capture who she was.
It shows how deeply she touched their lives, how she became a part of their memories. It's a reminder that even the smallest moments can have a lasting impact.
The list is a mix of sweet and funny things. Her love for milk, Bigfoot, silly photos, saying silly goose.
Captures her personality, her ability to make life fun. Memories are often tied to unexpected things, little details that bring back emotions, take us back in time.
Some entries are about her kindness. When people will randomly send a sweet text saying they were thinking of you, Ava always seemed to be doing that.
Her genuine care for others, making people feel appreciated, small acts of kindness, they make a difference.
Leaving notes on my car. Whenever she was having a bad day, she would leave a note on my car saying how much she admired me. I really wish I kept those notes.
She was focused on encouraging others, even when she was struggling. We never know what someone's going through. A little kindness can mean everything.
And then some entries are just funny. Not noticing people making out in the hallway. I've maybe seen people kiss in the hallway once or twice ever, she would say.
Those quirks. So endearing. Life's too short to be serious all the time. We should embrace the absurdity.
Goofy wisdom teeth videos. Hers was awesome. I bet she had fun making those.
Finding humor in uncomfortable situations. Laughing at yourself. Even during challenges, we can find light, joy.
And some entries are just sweet. Valentine's Day, Ava loved everyone every day of the year.
Her kind heart, compassion, radiating love, acceptance. True love isn't just for Valentine's Day. It's something we can express, experience every day.
Let's talk about Ava's love for music. It was a big part of her life.
Music can impact our emotions, bring back memories, connect us on a deeper level.
Ava's music taste was all over the place, especially for youth albums, Christian rock, country music, Thomas Rhett, Easton Henry. She loved it all.
She was open-minded, willing to explore. Music is a universal language, connects people.
One friend said Ava would blast music in the car, sing at the top of her lungs, made every drive an adventure.
Shared joy, connection, creates memories. Music brings people together, a sense of community.
Another friend loved Ava's church playlist, said it always got her excited for Sunday school.
Ava could inspire, uplift. She used music to create a positive atmosphere. Music can help us grow spiritually, connect with God, experience His love.
It's amazing how Ava's story touched people who didn't even know her. Her influence went beyond her circle of friends.
The ripple effect of a good life. Our actions can inspire even those we never meet. And even in tragedy, there can be beauty, hope, compassion.
One person saw Ava at a football game. She was announced as homecoming royalty. I'm so sorry for your loss. She seemed like a beautiful young woman.
A brief glimpse can make an impression. Our actions have a ripple effect. We never know who's watching, who might be inspired.
Another person, a mother, she read about Ava's passing in the newspaper. She felt heartbroken, sent love and prayers.
Grief unites us. Even in tragedy, the world is full of compassion.
And there's a message from a woman who lost her son. Years ago, she reached out to offer comfort, shared her own experience of finding peace, hope through faith.
The power of faith to heal. Comfort us, knowing we're not alone. Even in the face of loss, there can be peace, hope, enduring love.
These messages really highlight human connection, empathy. We find comfort in shared experiences. Ava's story sparked kindness, compassion, faith.
Our lives have meaning, purpose. Our actions make a difference. Love is a force for good.
The support Ava's family received is incredible. They were surrounded by a community that loved them.
Losing a child, it's unimaginable. It's beautiful to see people come together like this, offering comfort, help. It shows what community means, how we support each other in tough times.
People brought meals, offered financial help, donated to the GoFundMe, helped with funeral arrangements. The Moris made a grave blanket for her. The Ratties gave us a check for $3,000. The Mendenhalls offered us one of their burial plots.
Stepping up, offering support in any way they could. Actions, finances, just their presence. Emotional support. Even in the face of loss, there's beauty, hope, compassion.
So many stories about people using their skills and time to help. The Pories made sure we were hydrated, helped with much of the funeral prep, and visited us regularly. They also took care of Charlie while we were at the hospital. The Cowells took the kids to the Hive. The Whittles commissioned a piece of artwork for us, and then the artist donated it.
Using their talents to offer comfort, childcare, practical tasks, creating art to honor Ava's memory. We all have something to offer. Even small acts can make a difference.
And sometimes just showing up is enough. Offering your presence, love. The seminary students held a candlelight vigil outside our home the day after she passed. The Claytons were waiting for us outside our home when we got back from the hospital and cried with us for a few hours. The Pories made sure we were hydrated, helped with much of the funeral prep, and visited us regularly.
Sometimes the best gifts are time and attention, just being there.
And the support didn't stop. Ava's friends still continue to visit us and text us. The Life for Levi Foundation honored Ava and our family during the holidays. They did a row, a thon at Nebo CrossFit, and a polar plunge at Salem Pond. Alina has been feeling particularly down recently, and Jill, Zundel Carpenter, stopped unannounced to drop off a stained glass picture that she had made for us.
Love and friendship, they offer strength. Even after someone is gone, grief is a journey, and people need our love, support. It's really incredible, isn't it? Just the outpouring of support Ava's family received. It's a beautiful example of how a community can rally around each other in times of need. It reminds us that even when things are really hard, there's still so much love and kindness in the world.
You're absolutely right. And it speaks volumes about Ava's character, too, the way she touched people's lives and inspired them to be better. Even after she was gone, her influence continued to spread and make a difference.
Exactly. And you know, something that always makes me smile is remembering some of Ava's little quirks, like her obsession with milk.
Oh yeah, that was legendary. Her friends couldn't get over it.
It's those little things, those unique preferences that really make someone unforgettable.
Totally. One of her friends said their family had to buy way less milk once Ava wasn't around anymore.
Yeah.
Another friend just wrote, "Milk? That girl looved milk." It did, like, just the word milk became synonymous with Ava.
It's so sweet. It captures her zest for life, finding joy in the simple things. It reminds us that even the most ordinary things can hold special meaning and bring back memories of those we love.
But here's the funny part.
Hmm.
She loved drinking milk, but she didn't like it in her cereal. For years, she would have a separate cup for milk and another for her cereal.
That's hilarious. It just shows how everyone has their own way of doing things. Even something as simple as eating cereal. And speaking of quirky, there's that story about how after she got her wisdom teeth out, Ava was convinced she had 2 uvulas.
Oh my gosh, yes. Apparently one was just swollen from the surgery. But Ava was absolutely certain she had 2.
It's those silly moments, especially after surgery or medication, that create the best memories. It reminds us not to take ourselves too seriously and to find the humor even when things are tough.
And back to Ava's generosity. It's incredible how many stories there are about her thoughtfulness and how she always went out of her way to make people feel special.
She had such a big heart. It was in her nature to do those little things to brighten someone's day. It's a good reminder that the most meaningful gifts aren't necessarily material things, but acts of service, words of affirmation, or just our time and attention.
There are countless stories about her leaving notes on cars, bringing flowers, baking cookies for people who were feeling down. One friend even mentioned that Ava would always carry sticky notes with her so she could easily write a kind message for anyone who needed it.
Wow, that's incredible. It shows how intentional she was about offering encouragement and support. It's something we can all do, being more mindful of the people around us and looking for opportunities to show kindness.
And one of her friends said that Ava would often bake cookies and write little notes for people when she herself was having a bad day. She said Ava would say, "Sometimes I get sad, and then I realize there are probably other people feeling the same way, so I'm going to make them cookies."
That's so insightful and selfless. It's like she instinctively understood that helping others could actually help her too. It's a good reminder that sometimes the best way to deal with our own struggles is to reach out and try to lift someone else up.
Absolutely. Another friend told a story about how Ava would go out of her way to bring her flowers whenever she was feeling down. She said Ava even showed up late at night on a school night just to deliver flowers. It just shows how much she cared.
It's a beautiful reminder that sometimes the most meaningful gifts are acts of service and expressions of love. And on top of the flowers and cookies, there are stories about how Ava would decorate her friends' cars and doors for their birthdays, and how she used her calligraphy skills to make posters and personalize gifts.
It's like she had this innate ability to notice the little things that could brighten someone's day,
Yeah.
and she used her talents to spread joy and make everyone feel loved.
And then there's Ava's love for the temple. It was obviously a sacred and special place for her, a place where she felt close to God and found peace.
Her friends and family talked about how she loved going to the temple both with others and by herself. One friend said that Ava would often schedule time at the temple and then invite others to go with her.
That's wonderful. It shows how much she wanted to share her faith and the peace she found in the temple with the people she cared about. We can all be missionaries in our own way, sharing our beliefs and inviting others to experience something that's meaningful to us.
Another friend said that whenever Ava needed comfort, she would go to the temple by herself. And her father shared how much she loved her patriarchal blessing.
The temple is such a special place for finding peace and connecting with God. It's a good reminder that we can always turn to our faith for strength and guidance, especially during difficult times.
Now let's talk about Ava and her younger brother Jake. They had a classic sibling dynamic. A mix of teasing and deep affection.
Sibling relationships are so special. They can be challenging at times, but they teach us so much about love, loyalty, and forgiveness.
One of Ava's friends mentioned how much she loved sitting next to Jake in church whenever the boys and girls were combined. Her friends thought it was really cute.
It's those little moments of connection that stand out, but of course there are plenty of stories about them teasing each other and getting into mischief.
One friend shared a funny story about how Ava was trying to be like her dad and ended up accidentally lighting herself on fire, just like her dad did when he was a teenager.
Oh no. But I bet it's a funny story now. It's those shared moments of laughter and mischief that really create lasting bonds.
And finally, let's talk about Ava's desire to serve a mission. It's something that comes up again and again in everything we've learned about her.
For members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, serving a mission is a really special opportunity to share their faith and serve others. It's a time of tremendous growth and self-discovery.
One of Ava's friends talked about how she always wanted to be a missionary, and in a way she already was. She was always sharing her faith and going out of her way to help others through their challenges.
It speaks volumes about her genuine love for the gospel and her desire to help others connect with Christ. Missionary work isn't just about preaching, it's about sharing our faith and our testimonies with those around us in our everyday interactions.
Exactly. And another friend said that Ava had told her that she wanted to quit school and leave for her mission right now. It's clear that serving a mission was a very deep desire for her, and she was already living her life in a way that reflected that desire.
It's a powerful reminder that true discipleship is about more than just words. It's about aligning our actions with our beliefs. And remember that message from Ava's friend who felt prompted that Ava's entire life was her mission. Such a beautiful concept.
It really is. It challenges us to think differently about what it means to be a missionary. Maybe it's not just about a formal calling, but about how we live each day, how we love and serve those around us, and how we reflect Christ's light in everything we do. Ava embodied this idea perfectly.
Her life was a testament to faith, kindness, and love. And while her physical presence is deeply missed, her spirit lives on inspiring countless others to live with greater purpose and meaning.
It's been a privilege getting to know Ava through these stories and memories. She was a truly extraordinary young woman who touched so many lives.
Her story is a powerful reminder that we all have the potential to make a difference in the world, no matter how small our actions may seem. May we all strive to live with the same passion, kindness, and faith that Ava exemplified.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you've been as touched by Ava's story as we have, and that it inspires you to live a life filled with purpose and love.